Hi, I'm Kimmy.
And I'm Dee Dee.
Welcome to Women of a Certain Age. Tonight we're going to be talking about just tips that Dee and I have shared together, tips that have made our life better and easier that she's taught me, I've taught her, we share, and now we're going to share with you. Hope it helps.
We're going to speak a little bit to you about gratitude and self-awareness and patience and a lot of the practices and virtues that have just carried us to this point that we're comfortable enough to share it and express it. What are the benefits of time spent alone? Well, first of all, I believe we're never alone. I always feel like we're carrying things, God is watching, and we have loved ones and friends that are there on the other end of the phone or just a heartbeat away. But I discovered in my alone time, that was the first time I'd ever lived alone in 26 years. And I used that time to get comfortable with myself.
Yeah.
Those are the times when you heard that saying about dance like no one's looking, that kind of thing, where you can just get comfortable with yourself and accept yourself and not really be so much focused on the fact that you are alone. Just be, for me, grateful that you can hear your own voice for a change.
Exactly.
And whatever you need to deal with, you want to try new exercises on the floor, you want to try on different outfits, you want to try out a hobby, you want to write and journal. There's a lot you can do and it's just not a distraction. It's a self-focus. So being alone, spending time alone is a gift, because before you know it, that time will be over again. So I just say cherish your time alone.
That's true.
Because it will change.
We've raised children and now they're grown or they're in college or they're on their own. And now I have time alone again. And it's really so beneficial and rewarding because I get to reflect on what I've done, what I'm doing. I get to plan my day. And I get to recharge and find reasons that keep me going, the reasons that invigorate me. So being alone is really a gift for the time that you are alone. It's a time that's gifted to you to see who you are and reacquaint yourself with who you are. And the way Dee says, which is great, there's so many different ways. You can journal, you can dance, you can play with clothes and makeup, you can give yourself a pedicure and no one's there to say ew. Right? That's a really good time. Dee Dee, I want everyone to know that there's this special time that they have, alone time again, during the day, when you're putting on your lotions, your potions, your creams. And I don't think that as women of a certain age, I don't think that we should ignore that time. At this point, we need creams. We need moisturizer, we need water, we need water. So during the time that we're doing that for ourselves, I think it's important that you double that time as opposed to just being a beautifying time. It's also a self-loving time.
I think it's a reboot time too.
Just
like you have to reboot anything that takes on a lot of information, a lot of noise, a lot of people, a lot of voices.
Mm-hmm.
I love my me time. I love to take a nap. I specialize in resting. I am a woman of leisure.
Nap expert.
I think it's important. A lot of people don't understand how important it is to just rejuvenate yourselves and be still and rest your body and your mind. Gratitude. That's a huge word. We hear it all the time. I always say if you sit and you give thanks and gratitude for every single good thing in your life, it can be that minute to you, but it's a huge thing because you have something to be grateful for. And I just find that you can find gratitude in pretty much everything in your life. I know that I can. I'm very, very, very grateful.
Mm-hmm.
I keep my mind focused on the good. I may have desires for things, but I have what I need, my basic needs. It can be very, very small. I've always been able to survive and be happy and comfortable with less. And I'm grateful for more when I have it. but I understand that it's just really, what do you value? You know, some people have to have some things, some people don't. So just be grateful for what you have. Just be grateful for what you have.
Yeah, it's like that Alicia Keys song.
Yeah, let's make it more about
yeah, you know, but I think, yeah, I agree with gratitude. And I think gratitude opens the door. And because of gratitude, the door's open so more things can even come. And if you feel like you have lack, then you feel like the door's been closed on you. And if you feel like the door's been closed on you, then you're really shutting out other things. Yeah, so I agree. Gratitude is everything. It really is. It's everything. To stay present. I mean, there's everything right now. And that's why they call it the present, because it's a present. Exactly. But, you know, if you look in the past, there's things that you can regret or you can hold on to and feel like you're in lack. Or you could look in the future and have a bunch of anxiety and feel like I am not living until I'm there.
Yes.
So there's so much right now. I mean, the gift of God is all the beauty that, look at you, the beauty that surrounds us. That's the gift, you know? And even if let's say I'm mad about something, and I'm trying not to be, I am not actually. Mm-hmm. Or there's something that's kind of in the back of my head. I mean, taxes are due in a couple of days, but I can look at you and be quiet at home with the gift that is right now. Exactly. There's so much. Now. Yeah.
And that really can keep you at a place of peace.
Yeah.
Of just being present with what's going on around you right now. So, and you don't know what tomorrow brings. You don't know what the next hour or minute will bring.
They have this thing, you know, okay, you can't drive ahead looking in the rear view mirror because
Right.
you'll crash. But then I even take it even further than that. Like sometimes when I have my coffee in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and as I'm pouring my walnut milk in the coffee, just the way the milk flows in the coffee, I think that is so beautiful. It's the present, and it's a gift for me now. Just there's so many minutes that you just see something that no one else is ever going to see in life. It's just for you. And I kind of pretend maybe that God's giving me this beauty in the moment that's just for me, that no one else will see. And I enjoy that. And I appreciate that. Yeah.
And you do. And there's beauty all around us.
Yeah.
I love in the morning, and when I know that when spring is coming, when I can hear the birds outside.
Mm-hmm.
That's a beautiful sound to
They're
me.
singing to you.
You know, I do.
Yeah.
In the moment, we were sitting upstairs the other day, and I was like, listen to the rain. How beautiful does that sound?
Yeah.
Just listen to it. And it's like, it all turns back to, it's all God. It's just props and things that he's given us to appreciate if we just stop and take the time, like they just
But then we could miss it now if we
could miss it if
we
we're
were
focused
complaining.
on a lot of other things.
Exactly.
Which we have a tendency to do sometimes, but that's what
You're
we're
learning,
saying is we've learned at this time in our lives to focus on the good and focus on the things that are pleasant and
happening now.
Happening
every
now.
moment. Yeah, staying in the present moment is really good. It's really good. But there's things that you have to let go of, right? Like I had to let go of my mother who passed away. My children got older and they were living their own life, you know, and my definition never was just a mother, but that was also part of who I was, especially the ancestors, letting go of them and knowing that they are in my life when I pull them to the present. So I think about what my mom used to say to me all the time, like, to thine own self be true. If thou can't be true to thine own self, who could you be true to? You know, had to let go of the Cinderella thing in my head where I thought, oh, some guy, knight on shiny armor, was gonna come and swoop me up. Kimmy, I've been waiting for you my whole life. No, that's my responsibility. So I had to let go of that. I had to let go of Anna Wintour coming in and saying, you must be on the cover of Vogue this month. I had to let go of that. But these were, I guess, more so than even having to let go of them. They were more distractions that kept me from focusing on some things, these last things. There were distractions that kept me from focusing on what was immediate in my life right now. So things like that I had to let go of, you know?
I think one of the biggest things I had to let go of was sadness, because I would let certain things consume me, and then I would feel sad about it. If it, and that came along with having expectations for hoping for certain things to be a way that I had no control over.
Correct.
Like I had to let go
of what you didn't have control over.
Of what I didn't have control over. I had to let go of, seeking my mother to be a certain way. I still have my mother. I'm one of the few people of our age who still has my mother, but we don't have a relationship now where that I feel like it was what I needed. I had to let go, because people choose how and when and what they want to be in your life, and I had to choose what it would take for me to feel better, and part of that was to let go of the obsession of having your mommy now, because I can't control that. I had to let go of suggesting things to my children about their growing into an adult. You should do this, you should do that. You shouldn't do this, you should do that. And now I have learned that I can convey things without trying to sell my children on the goodness of things, and trust what they've learned is enough to make them choose right choices for them. One big thing that I've had to let go is being and feeling offended. And learning to allow people to be who they want to be, knowing what that has to do with me and what it doesn't.
That's another part of being offended, is the judgment that you will place, or one will place, on the person that's offended them. And I think judgment, we really don't have the right to judge. We don't know where that person is coming from, but we do have the right to mediate that offense to not being offended, where we have to learn to heal,
A new rule that we want to introduce is to be true to yourself. I think that this is just a culmination of all the lessons we've learned over the decades, our 20s, our 30s, our 40s, our 50s, what we will allow, what we will not, and just to know what moves you, what motivates you, what makes you better, what gives you the courage to go forward and to show up bigger in the world at this point. I want to be true to myself to make sure that I'm living the rest of my life as the best of my life. And those choices, I want to make sure that they reflect that I am doing that.
Yeah, I agree. And to be true to yourself, I don't know, that to me seems really black or white. I don't think that that's one spot in my life where I really don't see grays, to be true to myself. It's either black or white. So who am I really? What do I really want? If I decide to compromise, to know that that's a compromise, to be really true to myself. If I'm not true to myself, how could I be true to anyone or anything? Like 100%, this is the time. I have how many years left on this earth? I don't know, but I know I have more behind me than I have ahead of me. So I think out of respect for the life that I've been given, for the respect for the treats that I've been given in this life, I need to be true to myself, because that's how I can also share. I can't share a half-truth with you, with anyone. I have to really understand my truths and be proud of them.
As I've gotten older, one of the things that I have learned and am learning still is to take responsibility for my actions, for my role in things, especially when you've been divorced. One thing that drives me a bit nuts is to speak with someone who's divorced or broken up, and
mad.
All of the problems were because of the other person.
I agree.
That's not taking responsibility, because it takes two to create a situation, to have a relationship.
Sure.
And a lot of times it's a lot easier to say they were this and they were that and they were this and they were that. That's when you can't take accountability for what you had to contribute to the situation, good, bad, or indifferent. You have to take that responsibility. I was there, I contributed my part. That did not keep it together.
Yeah, it's true, you know.
Yeah, whether friendship, marriage, job,
It's true.
whatever.
Because in all these circumstances in your life, you're there. So how you contribute to it, there's a way. You're there. It's not someone else's fault all the time. It's not necessarily only your fault, but yeah, take responsibility for it because you were there. And I always feel that if God chose to, God conscious, whatever you want to call it, chose to put me in a situation, then there's a lesson for it in me. And that's why, you know, I want to be present because there's a lesson for it in me. So Dee Dee, what do you think? What do we want as we get older? I mean, what are we looking for?
More.
How do you like it? How do you like it?
More. I'm looking for more. I am. I'm looking for more love. I'm looking forward to what we're doing here with you all, to be expanded upon, to be understood, and to be received as a way to come out of our shell at this late, big, old age, as the young people call it on the internet. Just being whole, open, honest, loving, and unite, and finding more of the good things about ourselves so that we can find more of the good things in other people.
It's true. You know, now to add to that, I think that what we're looking for too is how to, I mean, I'm 63, Dee Dee's 62. By the time you see this, I may be 64. So I'm thinking that, you know, what I want to do, what I'm looking for is finding a way to age or to continue to age gracefully, to continue to age with health and wellness and a good mind, and to get that, to learn these things, and then to keep sharing them with you who are also women of a certain age.
Thank you for joining us again. Thank you for all your wonderful comments and suggestions, and we ask that you continue to reach out to us. If you'd like to speak a little bit further or have questions about anything that we've spoken about, that we'd like you to receive: understanding gratitude, responsibility, self-love, simple things. Or if you just want to know why we look so cute and, you know, how we styled one another, I'd be glad to share all of those things with you. And I think Kenny would be too.
Yeah, thanks guys. See you next time.